This Saturday is Lesterloot and it is currently Wednesday. And as of 20 minutes ago, I had no plan. Well, I kind of did. I had an idea of what I wanted to take, but I wasn't entirely sure and I had no layout plan for the space. Let me rewind a little bit. Lesterloot is a little market here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. It's a one-day event. It's not just antiques and vintage. There's pottery, there's homemade goods, there's food, some music. It's a really great one-day event, but it's just beautifully put together. So like I said, I had no plan, but I think I have a plan now. All right, so if you can imagine, this is the whole 10 by 20 tent. I went through and just kind of listed out some things that I am pretty sure I will be taking, like Tori's clothing rack, her round one, the one that we put together during the reset at the beginning of this year, the checkout table. I think I'm definitely going to be taking that leftover Luckett's piece, that green baker's rack that we put the shelves in. And I think I want to anchor this side of the tent with a rug, and I know that is risky to do. As of right now, it's not even calling for rain. It's been a pretty dry year. Did you see the email?
Yeah, I haven't seen the email.
It's canceled. Got a tropical storm that's going to be passing through. 10 to 20 mile per hour winds, heavy rain, supposed to last through all day tomorrow.
The first weekend of fall, we get a tropical storm.
Yep. So, we're pivoting. We're going to work on this little shelving piece that I had originally picked up. I was planning on taking it to Luckett's. I actually did take it to Luckett's, but we ended up not using it in the display. I love the outside pieces. The shelf here and the walls and the top are all made of really quality wood and have just a little bit of age on them, so they just have a really nice rich look. But the back is that cheap stuff. I could just pop the back off. I think instead I'm gonna experiment with some colors I've been interested in recently. Went to Lowe's and I was hanging out kind of in the plum area. It's not really purple, it's not really deep rich reds. It's like a combination of the two. I picked up a few colors, antique burgundy and marooned. I like them both for different reasons. Originally, when I first got the samples, I was like, okay, I think I didn't even need to get marooned. I think antique burgundy is the route we're gonna go with. But I put them on a paint stick just to get a better idea, and antique burgundy is up there at the top and then marooned is on the bottom. I kind of like marooned more. It just has a little more red to it versus the antique burgundy that has more purple. I mixed the two together to see what we would get, and that's that color right there. I actually really like it. It's not a bad color, it's just not, it's not what I wanted. So I think we're gonna stick with marooned, and we should only need this sample. It's not gonna take a ton of paint to do this at all. And so what the plan I think is gonna be is to paint the background in 2 coats, maybe just 1. And then we're gonna come in with the little viney design with the maroon just tinted down a little with some white paint. But the first step is going to be giving the back just a little bit of a light sanding with 220 grit sandpaper just to give the paint something to hold on to. Because it's so cold, the paint was not drying quickly at all. I got out my heat gun, went over it a few times on a light heat setting, and I haven't used that thing in like 2 years. I actually forgot that I had it until today. This is after one coat, and it's so hard to convey color on camera, like for how I see it in person. On screen, that's exactly what I'm going for, but here in person, it's just a little too bright. After letting that paint sample on the stick fully dry, I actually ended up really liking the final result. I don't know what I want. So I mixed up half of the maroon and half of the antique burgundy. That's gonna be the second coat of paint, and I think that will give us exactly what we're looking for. So I did a test of toning down that mix that I had with the white. It was way too purple. So I cleaned that off. I think I'm just gonna use the Swiss coffee white that I have left over that you guys have seen me use several times now. I'm gonna start with that. Oh my God. I'm gonna start with that, and then we'll see if we wanna do marooned over top of it. But I'm just gonna start off with the white and go from there. Now that I got the inside done with the white pattern that I wanted, I am mixing a little bit of Black Fox and a little bit of Pier. Black Fox is a little more gray, Pier is a little more green. With my white, just to give it more of an earthy green, dark green color. And it kind of has a little bit of a gold tone to it. They kind of look more like olive leaves, but I don't mind. even though I've done a similar design to this before, you guys have seen me do the wispies, right? It's still very different for me as far as color goes, and then along with this layering effect that I did on the wispies. Here, let me move this closer. Doing the white and then overlaying it with that mix, it looks so dimensional and cool, and it has this, how do I put it? It kind of looks like olive branch leaves, and I love it. Especially up against this really rich maroon color underneath. It looks more purple on camera, but in person it just has a little more red to it. I really like it. Especially with this wood tone, it's just so rich and beautiful. The last thing I'm gonna do is just give it a really light sand with some 220 grit sandpaper to make it look a little older, and then go over it with a protective coat. So we had to pivot a little bit, but it didn't end up being a bad thing. I would have gotten video of me styling the shelf, but it ended up taking me way longer than I thought. I just had way too many options of things to put on the shelf. I know that sounds like the best problem to have, but I couldn't decide. I know somebody's already typing out a comment, can I please buy that fox? I'm so sorry. That's my little fox sketch and I treasure him. But things that will be in the booth soon include the shelf, this lamp, this little bud vase back here that's brass, all of these brass candlesticks, this basket, the quartz crystal. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put it in here to style and stage it, and I landed in front of the window just because it was the most open spot. The depth is just over 9.5 inches, and then the height is just under 30 inches, and then the width is 39.75, I believe. So it fit perfectly right under this window that we have in our living room. I feel very cozy when I look at this. I wish I could just take this and apply it to my entire house. That's what I would like to do. And I think I'll eventually do that. I just have so much analysis paralysis when it comes to my own house. I did put up a post on the community tab, video ideas that I've had that I'm thinking about doing. One of them is a house tour. And the reason why I haven't done a house tour yet is, one, I just wanted to see how like we ended up functioning in the space ourselves, but then also just because I haven't really done anything to the house except put our furniture in and hang up a few pieces of art. I haven't done much, which is a good thing. There really wasn't much to do to this house anyways. I like how I have a lot of it set up at the moment. It's just not where I would like it to be, but I need to learn to let those things go and just enjoy the space in its current form. Just remember, I want it to look like this eventually. I want this to kind of be represented in the whole house in some way. Maybe not exactly like this, but that same feel. I'm just gonna stare at it. I want Mike to see it when he gets home.
I like it. Oh no. This is perfect height too.
No,
Why do you keep
no.
getting and redoing furniture that looks perfect in the house?